Hello and welcome back to Sparkle Me Pink. My name is Michelle and today I'm going to be showing you my infamous recipe for eggplant lasagna. It's not really lasagna or anything like that, but I'm gonna show you how I do things. So last time I made this recipe, I had posted about it on Instagram and I had 2 of you. That is enough for me to make a cute little video like this, asking what it looked like afterwards. How did I go about making this? How did I come up with this idea? I honestly don't know how I came up with it. I feel like I had seen like somebody make like true lasagna style type of eggplant. Mine is like quick and easy. I need this done like 20 minutes ago because I have starving, hungry children. I started doing this whole menu thing. This has kind of helped me out with planning out my week. Sometimes I stick to it, sometimes I don't. For the most part I do because I have to defrost the meat ahead of time. So that is the idea here. Let's talk about supplies. So for starters, you want an eggplant. This is a nice firm eggplant. Today we're gonna be doing it with 2. A nice chubby one just because he was extra cute. And then this one is probably more about the size that I have been using for feeding myself, the kids, and Logan. And I do have 2 kids. And we were all kind of wanting a little bit more last time. So, and because we enjoy food, we're gonna beef it up here with a second one this time. I like just getting the store brand of the hot premium sausage. You can get the regular one. There is another one that's more of like a breakfast one. Don't get that one, it tastes a little funky. In this type of recipe, it's more appropriate in like quiches and stuff. For cheese, again, I just get the store brand. I get the mozzarella and the Italian blend because it's got a little bit of mozzarella, provolone, parmesan, romano, fontina, asiago, all the things. And then if we didn't have enough calcium and cheesy fat in there already, we need some ricotta. You gotta put the ricotta in there. It is not some sort of lasagna type of mishmash without ricotta. As for sauces, my favorite ones are gonna be these Classico. These are the ones that I use the most, whether I'm making spaghetti squash or zucchini pasta or anything like that. These are the 2 I kind of rotate between, the tomato basil and the roasted garlic. But then when I was in Sprouts the other day, I came across this one and it looked beautiful. So me, when I'm like shopping for sauces, I turn them upside down. How liquidy is it? How is it sticking to the wall of the glass? It's kind of a thing. I used to watch my mom do it when she would pick out sauces, like when trying something out new. And this one looked really good. So I think I'm gonna forego this one today just to show you what it looked like with this. These jars are so cute. I end up keeping them and washing them, and I use them for my smoothies in the morning. I throw in a little reusable straw, and super cute. Sup, Soph? So let's be real. Be real with me right now. Tell me the truth. Do you like my eggplant parmesan?
Depends what mood I'm in.
Depends the mood you're in, Anthony. Anthony, do you like my eggplant parmesan?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about the eggplant parmesan?
The eggplant and the cheese.
Do you actually eat it, or is this one of those things where like
I eat
moms are gonna make this and then their kids aren't gonna eat it?
I eat it.
Yeah. And you usually are the one begging me for like a second helping. Because it's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the sausage that makes it, huh?
Yeah.
You wanna help me? That's a no. Okay, back to the kitchen. All right, so first things first, we need to bleed out the eggplant. I actually don't know if that's really a terminology, but that's the idea behind what it is that I'm about to do. So I pull out a big like cooling rack like this. Mine's just excessively large. Actually, this comes with a set with the biggest cookie sheet pan of life. I got it at Walmart for just a couple of bucks, maybe 15 at that. And oh my gosh, best purchase I've ever made. Put it out on the counter and then I will start to slice the eggplant short way. I like to make little towers of the eggplant parmesan rather than full panned lasagna style. I've tried to cut it long ways before and it just made it really difficult to portion it out afterwards. As you'll see, we're going to make 4 little towers here in our 11 by 13 pan. So this brown area is okay. It's not ideal, but since I have so much, I am going to trim off this area here just for flavor. because I guess my eggplant was going a little bit soft there in some areas. Now that I have all my pieces, I'm going to lay them out on my drying rack. While I'm finishing cutting the second eggplant, I'm going to turn my pan on the stove to a medium heat. So you can tell the difference between my first eggplant and the second. The second one must have been a bit fresher, but either way, to me, I've had them look both ways when making this before, because I've made this, oh my gosh, I can't even count how many times, and they all taste amazing. So I'm gonna bust out my Himalayan pink salt. I'm going to put it on the somewhat larger side and be very particular because I don't like wasting. And I'm gonna sprinkle this on the tops of the eggplant. The point of this is to try and pull out as much moisture as possible. That way our lasagna or lasagna towers aren't going to be rubbery or gooey or anything like that. There's different ways to go about doing this. I've heard of ways where you can like do it in the oven, but this is the way my mom used to do it, so this is the way I do it. Now, while these bleed out, let's go ahead and cook up our Italian sausage. I definitely don't find this to be a hot sausage. I don't find it to be too spicy. It just has a really nice flavor to it. If you are sensitive to spices in general, like I said earlier, there is a regular one. Just be precautious not to grab the one that's like a breakfast one. And we are going to basically break it up like this and cook it until it is totally brown. Now, while the meat is cooking and our eggplant is demoisturizing, bleeding out, whatever you want to call it, now is the perfect time to pour yourself a glass of wine. So now that the meat is almost done, I'm gonna pull out some of my spices. I'm gonna pull out my organic black pepper. I know, we're very confusing. We go from fancy black pepper to 99-cent Walmart spices. I'm gonna sprinkle a little of the black pepper onto the meat so it can start to blend together. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of the Italian seasoning because it has a little bit of everything in it. Not the best quality seasoning, but it does the job. Not a specific measurement, just enough to slightly coat the top. And then I will flip and mix it all in. Let's check on our eggplant here. You can see it's starting to sweat a bit. How cool is that? Look at all of that moisture, we're pulling it out. So cool. Sweaty, sweaty, sweaty eggplant. So when I'm ready to take some of the sweat off, I will take a paper towel and lightly pat. You could do this with a towel as well. That is more sustainable and better for the environment. Removing some of the salt because we did put quite a bit of salt on there. Now if you have the time, flipping these over, doing the salt thing again, I don't think I have the time or the patience today, so we're just gonna run with it. At this point, it's probably a good idea to get your stove on or oven on, whatever you call it. I put mine on 350. Our meat is all brown, so we're gonna go ahead and turn off the burner there, and we're gonna let that cool down. Okay, so now it is time to assemble our lasagna towers, but first, you have to taste test the meat. You know, make sure it's not poisoned or anything. So we have our 11 by 13 pan. I'm gonna just take some extra virgin olive oil spray. Next, I'm gonna put a little bit more sauce. Now it doesn't need to be precise or fancy. All of it's gonna get hot in the oven. So it's about a tablespoon each scoop because I'm using one of these larger spoons here. And then I'm gonna take our meat here and with another tablespoon sort of measure out very imprecisely a little scoop here. Should probably be using rubber or plastic in my metal pan. Now it's time to sprinkle on the cheeses in no particular fashion. Just trying to get it on our little towers as close as possible. Then with a smaller little baby teaspoon, taking out our ricotta. Let's do this. Little doubles, maybe like 2 on each piece. Now I'm using my hands. I have washed my hands if you're gonna use your hands. wash your hands. I don't mind using my hands because this is my family. I mean, if you're making this for other people, maybe wear gloves or something. Okay. There's the beginning of our towers. Let's go ahead and put on our second layer here. Oh yeah, it's coming together. Pushing down just ever so slightly there. See, this one's still a little sweaty. So I'm gonna get a paper towel and dabble that one off a little bit. And we're gonna keep layering on. So this is just the mozzarella here on top. And then I'm going to take my favorite Italian seasoning. So I'm gonna take the thyme and oregano and lightly sprinkle on top. You could totally just take the Italian mixture that we used earlier and do it on top. So now that we have everything all piled up, we're gonna go ahead and get this in the oven. I'm gonna let that bake for about 25 minutes. I do come every once in a while and check on it, make sure the cheese is melting, lightly browning on top. The meat is already cooked, so I don't have to worry about that. We're just looking for it all to just kind of like smush together. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer if the pieces are a little bit thicker, but today we did them relatively thin. So we'll check back in about 25 minutes. I need to clean up this mess. Woo. All right, it's been about 25 minutes or so. Let's check on it. Ooh, a little foggy there. See how they are lightly brown on top? I think we're good to go, guys. Let's go ahead and turn off the stove and pull it out. Look how perfect. This looks incredible. The best eggplant little towers I have made thus far. And then to serve them, I'll just reuse the spatula, scoop under, and put it into a bowl or a lipped dish for the kids to eat. I do let it sit and rest for a moment and cool down because it's so hot. But check it out. How beautiful. Yummy, yummy. Somewhat healthy. The worst part of this is gonna be your cheese. Let me know if you like seeing recipes like this that are almost so stupidly easy you could totally just think of it and come up with it yourself, but sometimes it's nice to see it all laid out and put together. If you like seeing stuff like this, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below with what recipe you would want to see next. Maybe I've talked about other things on my channel or on my Instagram stories. That's where I did get the request to put this video up. Now, the live episode of Big Brother is going to come on here in about 5 minutes. So I need to get off here. I'm gonna go grub on some eggplant lasagna and have a wonderful, relaxing evening. Cheers, and I'll see you in our next video.